So declining enrollment is the big part of this. Do you see that turning around, or what is your, where do you see the district?
Yeah, so I've looked at the past 8 or 9 years in terms of a decline in enrollment. I'm interested to see how things happen. I hate to say post-COVID because we're not out of COVID, but we're in a much more normal atmosphere now. And we know that a lot of people made decisions during COVID, and they might adjust those decisions this year. So I'm interested in seeing where we land in this particular year. In terms of continued declines, one of the things I want to make sure that we do is do a much better job, and we've already started, in just marketing and branding who we are as a district, so that people don't leave Bibb County Public Schools because they feel they cannot get a quality education here. And I feel that even based on my own homework, while the communications team has done a fantastic job at putting out newsletters, putting out information, so that the district download, I think it's called, in terms of reaching individuals, I tend to look at how many people view and read. And I think there's an opportunity for us to just reconsider how we put certain things out so they can reach more people. So we're going to be a little bit more out front in terms of getting our story out so that people can talk. And as they talk, and as students actually experience a great education in our schools, and they talk as well, that'll be at least one thing we take off the list in terms of people's decision making. I recognize at the end of the day, whether people choose ACE or one of our private schools or the Bibb County Public Schools or another charter, they have the right to that decision. And all we want to do is say that we are people, we are a district on the ground, and a great decision for you to make, and here's why. So we'll see how things go. I'm hopeful that enrollment doesn't continue to decline. I'm also aware of the fact that we have some upcoming developments in the city, some apartment homes that are coming that will house up to 160 families in some spaces. And we'll be at the forefront to make sure that when those families start coming in at their leasing office, and even before then, they will have information about, here's your zone school, here's a great time to come by. Matter of fact, hit this QR code, set up an appointment. We want to roll out the red carpet of those potential parents and not have them having to fish and ask. I don't want one person to come to this city and move into any home and ask, where's my school? I want to make sure we strengthen up the realtor relationship as well, so that every single realtor, when they go show a house, in your packet, you make sure you tell them, here are the schools, and here's how you get in touch with the schools and get information about the schools. Here's the website for the school. And then, of course, we bear the burden, again, of giving people content, clarity, and character in terms of how we communicate to them.
When you say content, what do you mean?
Just raw content. I mean, literally what you would put the pages in a book, if you will. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. So we'll say a chapter book. If there's a missing chapter in that book, you don't get the whole story. So that book, if it's 13 chapters, you need to have chapters 1 through 13 in the book. I don't want to take out a chapter 11 in the terms of, as an example, if we put achievement data out and there is a deficit area, I think I'm not giving people good content if I don't talk about that deficit area as well. So I just want, when I say content, I mean just making sure that as comprehensive as you can provide information, you provide it in that way. And you take it through the ringer to ensure that everything that we can and should put in, whatever we put out, it is actually contained in there.
Okay, all right, content is information.
Right,
all
it's
right.
information.
All right.
It's the recipe.
Gotcha.
Put all the ingredients in there.
So chronic truancy was one thing I wanted to ask about. What is your plan to address that here?
So in terms of truancy, number one, we already have some measures in place in terms of our truancy efforts and, of course, working with our local authorities. Fortunately, we have a great relationship with all of the authorities, and we talk primarily about safety. But since that relationship is in place, we want to make sure that we add to the table of our conversations with each other truancy and where those issues may lie in certain areas, and then how to engage as best as possible in terms of improving truancy issues inside the system. I'm always aware, though, that every single student is tied to some adult outside of school. So the biggest thing I want to do is make sure that if there is a truancy issue, that we immediately connect with whoever that adult is, whether it is a mother-father group, a caregiver, a grandparent, whoever that person is, connect with that person to see if there's something that we don't know about, hashtag built for bib, that is not allowing us to meet the needs of this student so that he or she gets to school on time and every single day. And I think utilizing our school social workers, paying close attention to those students who are under McKinley-Vento, our Homeless Act, and looking school by school and region by region to see if there are any outlying issues that we have not addressed, to address those issues. Because normally when a student is truant, there's something else that's going on. And you got to find out what that something else is. And you use all those resources you have in the city to do so. I'm fortunate also to already have developed relationships with some of the organizations that invest in the city, in the district rather. And they're already asking the question, what can we do? So if and when we see an opportunity based on an issue that we see leads to a truancy, and this organization here can meet that issue, those are the kind of connections that we want to make, and do it student by student and just chop it down until we have all our students in every class every day.